Can we talk about the Nietzschean aspect of your contribution to this conference?
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I was writing a paper about Bob Dylan's Tarantula when I noticed that Nietzsche also has a section in Zarathustra called On the Tarantulas. So at least superficially, I think we have a little connection there. And I think the tarantula becomes a kind of emblem of many of the animals and inanimate objects that and characters that Nietzsche encounters as the Zarathustrian character. And I think part of that is to emphasize the idea, to remind us of the idea, which he thinks philosophy has forgotten, that we are animals. We are, part of our animality is something which the more we repress, the more problems we tend to have.
Okay, and then this particular animal, what does it represent in Nietzschean thought?
Well, the tarantula, Nietzsche is a philologist, and the tarantula he associates with this dance, the tarantella, which was associated with the 16th century disease called the tarantos, which sort of makes one dance wildly, and it's associated with revenge and ressentiment. And if you get bitten by this spider, according to this section in Zarathustra, you will be a vengeful character. And Nietzsche says, save me from revenge, because ressentiment, especially resentment against your own past, which you cannot change, is a poisoning of the soul. And Nietzsche recognizes how much, I guess, artistic will is sort of wasted by that kind of ressentiment, and he sees that as an important element in the slave class, in that master-slave dichotomy, that the slave is filled with this kind of resentment. Well, I think there are many things that enslave someone, but resentment is one of the main features of this kind of enslavement. And Max Scheler has written a whole book, Ressentiment, on this, taking this idea from Nietzsche. And one of the facts about ressentiment is, you might say, a kind of envy, such that we don't have the means to express it. We don't have the means to let it out. And so this venom kind of stays within us and comes out in other ways. So you might imagine somebody who resents his job, he won't come out and say it, but he might go in the kitchen and spit in the soup, and then sort of bring it out. So it turns us into that kind of clever, in a bad sense, kind of creature.